I'm a diamond drilling roughneck working nowhere near a town. When I get out, I'll scream and shout hell by the bar around. Hit diamond drilling roughneck working all year long. It's time to raise your glasses to the diamond driller song.
Well, if that's a song you haven't heard in a long time, eh, Brent?
It's been a while, eh?
It's been a long time.
Busy. Yeah. So how you doing?
I'm doing not too bad. I think we both underestimated the amount of time we'd have to even put into doing this. Like once.
Well, it's like you plan some, Shawn, and it just something comes up, right? And especially this time of year, it's busy for you, busy for me, right?
Yeah. No, it's been pretty crazy. Even though it's kind of slow out there somewhat, or slower than what it's been, it's still lots to do. But maybe we'll bank a few here kind of quicker. It'd be cool to do one a week or something, but I don't know if that's realistic. We'll see. But if anyone's looking to be on the show, just message one of us, email Greasy Driller Podcast at gmail.com, and we'll put something out. But what have you been up to, Brent?
I'm just drilling. I'm out in Dryden, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's drilling. Helping. I got a green driller up here, my buddy. So I'm kind of showing him, and I'm doing all the dirty work.
Yeah,
that's
right
good.
On. You still know how to pop the ball and all that stuff?
Yeah, you know what? It's good, Shawn, to do it. Go back to it the odd time, right? It's kind of. There's a guy back.
Yeah. The blocks I think we talked about this before, but like drillers going back, helping or foremans, like they mess the blocks up every single time.
I double checked, man. I told the other helper there, I said, man, like I haven't done this in a long time. Like maybe just check the boxes over. Like I probably screwed up, but
right.
Yeah.
So we'll just kick right into an ad. Here we got one sponsor for the show, and this is actually a company I work with quite often.
Yeah.
So we got Ranger Mining here. This episode's brought to you by Ranger Mining Equipment. Ranger Mining has locations throughout Canada, including British Columbia, Alberta, Ontario, and the Yukon. They supply mining and drilling operations with equipment, including downhole and supply pumps, coil stoves, water lines, mine dewatering pumps, core saws and blades, generators, drilling fluids and lubricants, miner's moss, drill bits, casing shoes, reaming shells, and downhole tooling, and industrial engines and replacement parts for Perkins, Cat, John Deere, Kubota, Deutz, Cummins, and Isuzu diesel engines. If you need it, Ranger Mining Equipment can help you get it. Ranger Mining will work with you along the way, giving you peace of mind that the items you purchase will function or fit whatever application they're needed for. You can contact Ranger Mining Equipment through their website at www.rangermining.ca or email sales@rangermining.ca.
Perfect.
I did pretty good there.
I was gonna say you did all right. You must have practiced her a few times.
Yeah.
Just sitting in front of the mirror there.
Yeah. Me in grade 3 would have been like he.
That's me now. Never mind. Yeah.
But I do a lot of we get a lot of stuff from Ranger as well. And the really nice thing is, you're looking for like specific equipment sometimes. Like you can go buy a bit like anywhere just through an email or something. But, if it comes down to like a specific engine part or a certain like engine model or family, a little thing that you need, this company's really great for like tracking down those specific things and helping out. They've saved our butt a lot too. Good. Thank you for sponsoring the show. But I guess we'll kick into gear here. Brent, do you want to introduce this guest?
Yeah, we got Alex Kingsland. I don't know. I worked with Alex for years, off and on, and he's foreman, driller, whatever he wants to be, I guess. Yeah, here he is.
And I guess he's computer tech too, because he got all his stuff to work here.
barely.
Bit of a task.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you made her. I see you got the podcast studio set right up and
Yeah.
you're ready to go.
Borrow the wife's office.
Yeah.
So where are you, Alex?
I'm at home right now. I've been home for about a week. Another 2 weeks off. I think I go on the 10th, it sounds like.
Okay.
Good.
Back to the grind.
Yeah.
Seems like, yeah. Well, have you how was the winter for you?
It was, I had a little bit of time off there. I went drilling. I drilled for a while and went for a round in Red Lake in January and then had a month off, and I've been in the territory since. Up in Goose Lake.
How's that?
None of it. Oh, it was good times, man.
Big smile there, right?
Yeah. Been home just over a week, and it was, there's still lots of ice and snow when I was there.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah, we fired up a job here that normally most of the snow is gone, and it's like there's at least 4 feet of it out there. Like they're ordering snowshoes to put the water line in, and it's like,
No
oh
shit.
man, yeah. So hopefully that changes. But it's been even the nice days we get here in Whitehorse. It's windy or it's cold. It's
still chilly.
Yeah, it's winter all over.
Yeah, you had a good 2 months a year of, I think it was last year, it was July and August, and then September snow again.
Yeah. Those odd years you get screwed. Like, even like, are you still in Manitoba or are you in Saskatchewan or what?
Yeah, Lackawanna.
Okay. Yeah. If you have like a really long spring back home, then you end up going somewhere cold and, it gets nice back home. Maybe you come back, you get to enjoy it for a bit. Might get one job where it's decent, but then you get sent somewhere where it's like fall already. Like it's pretty easy to miss an entire summer.
Very easy. Oh yeah. Usually guys home one time. Like you catch it at the beginning and then you're home at the end of it in fall, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody's usually so drunk they're just like, oh yeah, Brent was home all summer.
Yeah, you come home with your legs just pale and white because you don't wear shorts up there.
Well, it's summer now, and then basically I'll be gone again and come back in August, mid-August. You know what I mean? And then it'd be a couple of weeks of sunny, back at it, and then fall.
She's done,
Yeah. That's been the price living up here. It's pretty much like, I'll give away 2 or 3 months of nice weather. Just trade those straight up for winter. I'm still not getting used to that. But yeah, so I guess maybe we should just get into a little bit of your story, Alex. I know, man, I don't even know the last time I seen you. I think that was with like so long ago. I think I
was thinking about that. I remember we were both drillers and we were helping some guy PQ. And I looked over at you and I was like, this is bullshit, man. You're like, yeah, I'm a driller too.
That job's very memorable because I remember that guy took a shit in someone's glove and got fired.
That was my cross shift.
Yeah,
it was wild, that job.
That was brutal. Right before that, I ended up I was drilling. I didn't have a whole lot of experience, but I had drilled, so I'm a driller now. Work slowed right down, I think. Or no, I got drilling and then I left and I've figured I'm going to fall in love with this girl. I'm in Edmonton. I go scaffolding. That's it for drilling. And of course that didn't work out. Went back and I was like, oh yeah, they'll throw me drilling. Right. And that's where I ended up, was helping on that PQ drill. And I was like by myself for a while. And I thought like, holy shit, they're really punishing me here.
Yeah, it was, that was, I think, well, I started back in the day for major, and then I when I was 18, I did a few tours that year, not many. It was one of those probably 2-3 tour years, if that. Then I ended up at wind drilling for a couple years, and that was right after I quit wind drilling. I was drilling at wind for a while, but it was in Beset on gear jammers. It was Gravy Rock, and then I went drilling in Atikokan for Sierra, and it was one of those situations where it's like, "Okay, bud, 30 tomorrow, or you're going helping." You know, like it was a few days because it was fucking Canadian Shield, man. It's a different story than that Greenstone and Beset. And that's what happened there, I think. Yeah. So they threw me on the PQ drove. For some reason, that's a memory, man. I just remember looking at you and being like, fuck, I was mad. And you're like, yeah, I'm in the same boat, bud. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You know, I was helping that guy who, he, no word of a lie, like 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And I don't know where he is now or what his story is, but he just coughed so much, but he wouldn't take his eye off the gauge. So he's sitting on the toolbox. This is on the jammer, and he's just staring at that gauge, and he would dig in his pocket, and he's like fumbling around, pull the smoke out, one in his mouth, and he would hold it over to me. So I would grab one too. But like all day he did that. Like a lot of memorable stuff actually happened there. I think we had like 5 rigs, and it was a lot was going on. But you know that, like, I don't know. That's the only job I've been to where someone took a shit in someone's gloves.
Me too.
Memories, good memories.
Yeah, I don't know what the helpers were fighting, or the driller and the helper. Driller's guy from Dauphin, I believe, and then the helper, they were feuding for some reason, and yeah, he's shitting his gloves.
Yeah.
And I remember they were gonna fight there at shift change, and the whole crew came over. All the drills pulled up there.
Did he put him on?
Hey?
Did he put him on?
Yeah, he went to. I don't know if he stuck his hand in it, but it was just.
I'm pretty sure he did. Is what I heard.
Foggy days.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I might have to go back and the name of the company because I don't know if that one's gonna go over very well.
Yeah.
But whoever was there heard that story, they'll know for sure anyways.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you know, I didn't know that you were with Major beforehand, because I remember you and a couple other guys I think came from Win. I don't know if, like, does that company exist, or what was
not anymore? Like, I don't know what the something to do with the owner of Win had something in the mine, right? And he was the mayor of Beset, so he just had a bunch of rigs around town. We lived in town. It's 4 or 10.
They're still sitting there.
There's still some there, right? It was a great place to work. Like, it was all guys from around here. Guys, I grew up. That's how I learned to drill. But it was a good time. Back when nothing else mattered, it was just.
Beset was pretty wild back then. I mean, even when Vanguard was there, I remember they were there, and it was pretty.
Well, it was home, right? Like, it was.
And it wasn't dry. It wasn't dry, right? It was,
by no means. It was.
No, it was pretty wild.
I remember sniffing around there for some booze and strippers when I was working around there too. But I like how you said that when nothing else mattered. It was just go to work.
Yeah. But it was just like back in the day, you were expected to show up hungover almost. You know what I mean? Or like my mom was actually telling me the other day, no shit, that the owner's son, Ross Wynn, his name was. He's passed on now, but he's a great guy, good dude to work for. But he called here July long weekend, and he said, "Hey, have you seen Alex?" She's like, "No, he's at work." He is most definitely not at work. We just bailed, I guess.
Looking for you, eh?
We were laughing at that.
Yeah.
No, he's most definitely not at work.
Yeah, that must have been a good gig. Like, how when you went to them, like, did you learn to be a driller with Major and then transferred over, or how'd that go?
No, I just did my first couple tours helping with Major, and then I don't know how much time I took off. Maybe a year, not even a year, between when I was finished with Major and when I got on with Win. But I tried to get on with Win for a while because all my buddies worked there. A bunch of guys from active on it. And But then, I got on. I was there for years. I don't even know how many years. 5 years.
Oh,
5
wow.
years.
That's a good run there.
Feels like it, yeah. I don't know. My timeline's all buggered up too. I know I started right after I was 18, though. I started buddy from town here. He's an old legend there, Chris Schultz. He took me with him helping up in Ferguson was my first job. I burnt the pump shack down.
Right on, off to a good start.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wild, yeah.
And then you went with, when did you go with Rod, and what year?
Oh, that would have been
You were with
2009, maybe 2008, 2009.
Yeah, you're there for a while.
Yeah, 13 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, and then I left for a year. I went to Africa for a year, 2010, I believe, or I was working in Africa. And then I went back to Sear for a bit and then back to Rodrin, but wasn't going long. Then I went from Rodrin to Frackel for a year, 2 years, and then to Major for the last 4. All good companies too. I've had a pretty good, graceful career so far. Actually,
Yeah, it's pretty wild how quick you can work your way through a bunch of companies. Like, you know, I never sat down and added it up, but I bet I worked for, like, I don't know, at least like a dozen different companies. And I mean, a couple of them, they were more like, you better get out of here. But for the most part, they just ran out of work, and you get on with someone else, and then the other one. And it's such a small place too. Like, you know, you meet a crew, and then you're out of work, and you message those drillers from the last place, and they're like, oh, we're over here at Rodrin or wherever, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's crazy. Like it's like you said, like you could have 30 years experience, and you go to a company, and it's like, I tell guys I work with too, like, I used to be like that kind of hardcore, and you judge a guy before you even know his name. You know what I mean? Like, we're all bad for it, but it's like, man, when you go someplace and it happens to you, it's like, it's a clique, right? Or a crew you got to get in.
It is. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Half the time you get judged, and then you get along with a guy. Like, I've been to jobs where me and another guy wanted to rip each other's heads off, and within a month we were good buddies, and we still are to this day, you know, just like we're too alike.
Yeah. You know, today I had a group of guys together doing this like orientation and stuff like that. And, you know, you'd start telling stories, and guy, it's a lot like this, honestly, at some points, but bring up a guy's name, and then this guy's like, oh yeah, he doesn't like you at all. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really like the guy either. And but you know, that, like, you know, to me anyways, at least in that situation, like, it was more like we work together, and it's, I don't know, I guess we kind of butt heads or see things different, which you do with a lot of people. But myself anyways, you know, if he was sitting there and bullshitting, I don't think he's a bad guy at all. Like, get along outside of work, at least on my end. But yeah, at work, or just like, it's funny because he just openly said, like, hey man, I don't like you. And he's like, yeah, I don't fucking like you either. But it was just so funny. It's coming up in an orientation. I'm like, I don't think this is where we're supposed to talk about this. But it's a good segue into, like, hey, even if you don't like someone, you still got to work with them, and like try to be civil out there, and like don't fill their gloves up with something, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen lots of crazy stuff too on the drills. I'm sure you guys too, but there's a couple of brothers I used to work with at Roger, and two used to do stuff like that. Not that bad, but just like, I don't know, take it to another level, you know.
I think I've heard of a lot getting to a certain point where even people are like, okay, it's time to stop. Like,
it gets carried away for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. But those are good, like, timeline markers of your career, though, you know, like the story about the glove. You're like, I was a driller then, but I was helping. And then you pick your next things down the road. But so yeah, I guess along the way, like you mentioned, you learned on the gear jammers then. obviously with Wayne, eh? And then I guess back then, like even Sear was running lots of them too, which I really thought was cool because I came from Major, maybe went to, it was still Connors actually. I think they were just like switching to Farraco or something, but it seemed like there was still a lot of gear jammers around. It was a really neat time for guys like our age because I know they're still around, but it's, I don't know, the guys who've ran them now, like the newer generation, there's not a whole lot of them, but I think it really helps with just developing your skills.
Yeah, definitely. And like we're in our age group, it's where, like we're the last, crews that was the drill we drilled on. It wasn't there because it was a quick setup or nothing. That's what we had. I remember Roger thing and
where it started. Diamond Drilling started on them, right?
And I remember looking at it was A5 in the bush we found in Bassett one night, and I was like, not a chance, man. I will never put one of those things. And even Roger, they had a brand new Ep.75. It's all yours. I was like, nope, drilling HQ on a 37 there. Nope, I want to do this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I was telling a guy, I like personally, I like drilling on them better, like just turning the valve and operating that end of it. But as soon as it blocks, even like, it blocks, now you got to pull up, I don't know, 4 feet to get to the joint. The guy I was telling this to, he's like, yeah, next thing you're fucking doing karate there, like grabbing everything and like, and all you've accomplished is just lifting the rod up.
That's it.
3-4 feet.
Yeah. Doing a little dance. Yeah.
It'd be fun to do again. It'd be fun to go run one for a tour and just, it's been a long time.
Yeah. No, I would love to see one again. I was trying to chat to somebody about buying one, just to like not to have in my yard. Like I'd just, I don't know, put it in an isolated area and just say, hey, it exists. If you need someone to drill it, I got this thing. But just so they don't completely die, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But they always said it's like a safety thing, but I think it's like a hydraulic drill. You can get really hurt on a drill. It doesn't matter. Like if you had some common sense on the gear jammer, you shouldn't get hurt, but they got a bad rap.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I never remember having any incidents on them, but like you see in the whole industry right now, like
but it's 2025.
Compare the incidents this year to the incidents in 2010. You know what I mean? It just seems like maybe everyone's just reporting shit, but it just seems like there's a lot more now, right?
Well, everyone's just getting stupider is what it is. Bottom line, right?
Yeah, they got to be watching this fucking podcast and learn a couple things,
Yeah.
Maybe we should be doing the, like we probably all have Common Core. We should just get like that like all the modules, and that's how we'll base our episodes. It's like the next episode, chainsaw safety.
Yeah.
We'll get some sponsorships by that Canadian Diamond Drilling Association.
Get Paul Goslin in there too.
Yeah. He wanted to come on, right? He could initiate the process for us. Yeah. I
just laughing about him.
Yeah. I always laugh. Alex, how you said before, like back when nothing else mattered, like you're young, you're just working, making good money right off the hop. If you're just 18, 19 or whatever, if you had to compare that to now, like what are the differences with your life as being in the drilling industry versus what they were when you were like, let's say 21?
Well,
what'd you say again?
It's just I'm grown up, right? I'm scared of jail now. I got kids and a wife. It's I don't know, but it's a big difference. It's back then it was hard to get in. You needed to know somebody. When I even to get into Bassett, like I begged another old school driller from town, but finally he gave me a shot. And but it was like you had to earn your keep back then.
Even drilling wise, like even just to get a drilling, like 6 years, like a guy when we, like guy puts in the work, right? But now now there's just so much demand. They just, you know what I mean? Like Shawn, New Age there, and a few other good companies where they actually look into the guys, right?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, even I remember one episode you guys were talking about. I'm pretty sure I don't remember who the guest was, but it was like about looking at resumes, right?
Yeah.
And like, it's the same thing. Like, it's a guy.
My wife,
one way where you can have a bunch of jobs on a resume and it's questionable, or you've been with one company. Like, I talked to some people this spring and they're like, well, if you've been there, why do you want to leave?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like, it's weird though, but just hearing that, right, from a guy that looks at resumes, like, but you could tell too, if a guy works for 6 jobs in a year, then, well, there's something wrong. Usually, like, guys that come in on my jobs say the same thing, right? Oh, I've worked 5 different places. It's like, well, I know somebody that works at every one of those places, so chances are I'm going to call them, and just maybe that's why the judgment gets tossed so quick. But
yeah, I think that's where having Facebook is obviously the first one people go to. But, if I click on someone like, Alex, I hadn't talked to you in years other than a couple messages here and there. But if someone applies, I type their name in. Oh, Alex knows them. Then I'm going to message you and like, what do you think of them? And I'll take that with a grain of salt too. But, at least you hear like, oh, the guy, he's racked up 5 trucks, I've heard. You might get like a pretty quick answer where you just don't deal with the guy. But yeah, it's really up to, the way I look at a resume is probably different than the way somebody else does. But I try not to be negative all the time, but I could make any scenario like make you seem really shitty. Like you said, I only worked for one company. I would be like, he's loyal, looking for stability. And those are super important things, right? And then if I had to say something against him, like, he doesn't know fuck all. He only worked for one company.
Yeah. Every picture you have at the drill is the gauges are zeroed out. The drill.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. And nowadays is different. Like, you know what I mean? Even it's just seeing guys like you. I met you that was when I remember meeting you, but we're working hard, working for our money. And now you run into guys and it's like, you were mean to me 10 years ago when I helped you. It's like, what's your name?
Yeah.
Did I fire you?
Have you had that where you're like, when you're younger and you worked with a driller and it's like a year or two later and you like, hey, John, and they look at you like, who the fuck are you? And you kind of feel bad. You're like, man, I worked my bag off for like our shifts together. But then when you get older, like how you said, you're like, I get it. Like, it's hard to remember everybody. And as you get older, like, you get wiser, but you get stupider too. So you just start forgetting names, and or at least I do.
Oh, definitely. All the people guys ran into, right? It's like, oh, I've seen you. You look familiar from 10 years ago. Yeah. It's like, we're good buddies, man. Like, oh, cool. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like, I helped you when you were like 24, and you're like, yeah, I don't even remember being 24.
No.
Yeah. It was a blur.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember many of the helping years. Like, I don't know. Like, I helped a year, I think, but I don't remember. I remember helping friends, like, and it's like, I've told these guys, like, why weren't you hard on me, man? Because I was a dick when I was a driller. Like, honestly, it was. Mm-hmm. It's just weird. Time goes on, and we're still doing the same thing, but wouldn't change it for the world, right? But
yeah, I was trying to go over. And I guess me and Brent, like, we're kind of talking about that when you were working for us, Brent. You were saying like the crew of guys that were there, you're like, there was so much experience at that point, which you don't see a lot. We had a lot of older guys focusing on like a really tough drilling job, and like did really well on this thing too. But yeah, it's just,
it was.
I guess it's,
like. Oh, go ahead, Shawn.
Yeah, just the differences of like generations, you know what I mean? Like we had all these older guys, and even though they can't remember your name after a year, they can drill the fuck out of that ground.
They know
And
drilling, exactly. They know drilling.
Yeah.
Like when I was up there with you guys, I think I was the youngest driller there, to be honest. And it just shows like compared to young guys and these old timers, like they're just the true diamond drillers. Like they like you guys had that group chat there. Someone's battling something, they're all on there putting their 2 cents in, right? And you just work at their pace. It's their show. You know what I mean? And nothing's, you never hear problems. We never had 0 problems up there ever. And it's nowadays you got vice versa, 3 65-year-olds or 3 21-year-olds. You're doesn't weigh out the same. It's just not the same. Right?
Yeah. It's just
everyone's trying to prove a point, right?
Especially, and that's probably something new for them older guys too. Like even me, once the Starlinks came out, you know, everybody can talk now. I'm sure almost every drilling company has them, probably at all the rigs. But you know, we had those like group chats. So now these guys who were, especially if they grew up in the days where it's like, what was it, like shift bonus? Like day shift gets what they drilled, night shift gets what they drilled. Like I always heard crazy stories about that. But it's probably cool for a lot of those guys who are like, they're older, not that they're not getting meters, but they're not as hungry as they were when they were 20 something, right?
Yeah.
They're more inclined to start helping people. And like when I started, I remember asking a guy a simple question about like, after the 2 blocks, or say I drill a screw and I've set my feed valve. I said, when I reset my head and like, say I lift up and should I turn my feed valve off, go into drill and reset my speed, or can I leave it the same? Yeah. And like, I didn't know. And I asked him and he's just like, oh, I don't know. You're the driller. Like, cause he didn't want to lose his fucking job to me. And it turns out I was way better than the guy even then.
Yeah.
Like he was.
That's how it was. So yeah, that's how it was. Exactly how it was back then. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, at least for us, like we make these group chats and, you know, the guy who's up top the hill, he can still kind of pipe in if he has any advice for the guys down below. And it's cool to see like those older experienced guys getting into that too. Cause I mean, at that point, it's like they've had a full career. They can share some knowledge now. So that's one of the benefits that's come from all of that. Back in the day, they all would have said, oh, piss off, figure it out, or give you the wrong advice. So they don't bring you back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's more like an accomplishment. You want to like, you just want to succeed. Like, you know, I don't want to go work for someone and it's just a complete shit show and problem after problem at every drill. You want to see, I know the way I look at it is you want to see everyone succeed and then get it done and then leave good on good terms, right? Yeah. I mean, obviously there's shit shows sometimes, but some guys don't look at it like that, right? Some guys just run into their ground.
Oh, it's like I just took a new job, obviously, but drilling for a smaller company. And like, it's like I'm going into my first day of drilling, you know what I mean? Like I've been doing this shit 22 years and it's like, it's not like I'm losing sleep over it, but I'm excited to go.
You're nervous.
Like, it's been a while. It's been 9 years since I did a full shift.
You almost find your happiness again in diamond drilling.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I went last year with Shawn and with New Age and Topic, I found my happiness in drilling again because there's different challenge instead of Stick Rock and Manitoba, right, and Ontario. Like it's just different drills and everything. So you almost find like you're young again. It's weird.
And I want to. That's the thing. I've lost the love in the last little while. All right, so it's like
you're a miserable prick.
Yeah, I just want to. I want to get it back. Like I'm excited to go. It's just pumped, man. But it should be good.
Yeah, no, that's like, pretty cool. I told the story about like that I helped last year, and I'm just like, you know, right off the bat, I think we were doing a test, so they had we hooked the survey tool up, and like right away, I just kind of forgot like what step is next, and the driller's like, hey, the fucking tool. And like at that time I was operations manager.
Yeah, like what the
yeah, right away he's like, oh my God, like, you know, there's a lot of operations guys or whoever else, like they move into higher roles and they never fucking drilled, or maybe they did, but they were no good. Not all of them. There's a lot of guys like that, but yeah, at that point, that guy's probably thinking like, holy shit, was this guy safety guy before, or what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, talk about losing a step. But once I got back into it, it was even for a shift like helping, I still took pride in it though. Like the guy told, like I was cleaning the fucking tube in the back end and greasing everything, cleaning garbage outside, and super tired because it's just a way harder job than what I normally do. But you know, me coming in one day still took pride in it, and it made me feel good. Like, you know, if I really had to, I could go back and help a job or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, you get the little spark under you, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't fucking burn in right away or something.
I wanted to be the first one to say it there. Awesome, man. I texted Alex one time where I think you're at Trillium, and I'm like, you're gonna fucking burn in. He just lost it on me. Yeah, you're gonna fucking burn in. I told him.
But you don't say that to a guy.
I think you're pretty mad about it too. I think it's hard. It's like chert top to bottom there, just chert and pure white quartz, 1,000-meter holes, 800-meter holes. Yeah,
you're gonna have
sometimes too. Yeah.
You'll be listening to this podcast. You're like, what do I sound like on there? Next thing, like, just planted. Yeah. You know, all this talk about like starting out and then where you end up. I don't know how long we'll do this show or whatever, but it would be cool, you know, because I'd still like a helper on here who's done a few hitches and see their story, what they think of it. And, you know, it'd be really cool. Say you were 20 years old and someone interviewed you on like how you feel about the industry, where you think it's going, then to come on now and see like, how did your plan work? Like, are you where you thought you would be?
Yeah, exactly.
When you started out, were you, I don't know what drillers you were around and stuff, but were you motivated right off the hop to become a driller after being a helper?
Yeah, pretty quick. I hated helping. I don't know why. I just did. It's the. I
had to work.
Yeah. But I worked with some hardcore guys. Like, you got wrenches thrown at you and shit back in the day, right? Like, it was, I wanted to be that guy.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are probably all on those. There's all the different Facebook groups and stuff like that, the drilling ones. But I saw a post the other day where it really sunk in, I guess, how old I am or just how things have changed. But a guy put up a picture of whatever drill it was with a rod manipulator, and he had a stand there, and there was, I don't know, 20 of them sitting in the rack. And he's like, when you walk into shift, like, kind of like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna work so hard. And even for me, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Not a manipulator.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I think like that's more fun than anything, because the driller has the stress of like not dropping them and, you know, what he's gonna do. Like a good driller, something fucked up, they're yarding the rods out, they're already thinking about how they're gonna fix what's going on or what could be. Yeah. That helper, he's just do. You know, like running his little arm and doing all the stuff. Like I just thought it was really funny, but maybe that's how, you know, maybe that's how helpers talk to each other now. Like, oh shit, we were 1,500 meters down and we had to yard them out. And it's like, you didn't even touch anything. You could do it without the gloves on. I don't know.
They still bitch about it. Oh, we got to pull rods. Like, you guys stand there.
Yeah.
You guys stand there. God forbid you got to put your hand in a pail of grease and put some grease on the goddamn things. Back in the day, you use a torch and you'd be burning your skin to heated grease. You know what I mean? To thaw it out. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Walking
You're
into a door full of HQ20s, they're laid out in that gear jammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Laid
I've
out,
had
get ready.
some-
The shack
Right.
is like the shack door's splitting at the bottom because there's so many fucking.
I walked
Just
in with
spin the
grown
plug.
men there. He was about 20 years older than me, man. Just, I can't do it. Started crying. This Friday night. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll take you home, man. Foreman's like, you should have talked to him instead. It's like, oh no, it's Friday, bud.
Yeah. No, I was like, I saw the post and I maybe read a couple comments. Some people were like, oh, yeah, we had to pull this much today. And people are going back and forth. But I didn't know if the guy put it up as like a serious thing or if he's just being sarcastic. To me, it came off as like, no, he's upset. He's got to pull all these rods. Or maybe the guys are going to, like, whoever's commenting on it will be like, holy shit, he's working really hard. But I don't know. Like, if I could literally walk out there right now and pull 3,000 meters of rods on a manipulator and I'm a fat ass working in the office.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many times has a guy pulled by yourself?
Yeah, you don't even use.
You know what I mean? Like,
You don't even
you
use
go
the thing
back
till
and forth.
after 800. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just,
so,
you know, I wonder, like, are we like the old men now that are like, oh, you don't know what it's like to work?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But I remember going from like the gear jammers to drilling like H on an A5 without like a manipulator or anything and thinking like, man, this is way fucking harder than working on the gear jammer yet. Because like, sure, it's only 10 footers we're yarding out, but on a gear jammer, you weren't lifting them. You're guiding them and spinning a plug. Like, it's harder on the wrists and everything. And I mean, you're up in a basket, which is a whole other thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought, like, honestly, helping on that hydraulic drill, I almost felt like I was working way harder than the gear jammer one. But at least the driller worked with you on a gear jammer. You know, he's sweating his bag off too. But now on the A5, he's just zzz, 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 and you're lifting everything.
I remember gear jammer too, though. He went until you figured out that you could sit on a toolbox or something. The guy stood there. You know what I mean? I remember drillers. I had drillers that stood there for like as long as I knew him, man. He just stood there looking at those gauges. It's like you stand 12 hours a day. You know, now it's like, oh, I need a new office chair there. Mine's broke.
I probably told you that a few times.
Yeah. Okay. I'll get on that.
Yeah. I remember when Tyler and can't remember his name, Dave or something, and it was like 2 a.m. and Burns in his dry/office sleeping, and Tyler ran in there and opened the door. He's like, the coil stove needs bleeding. Ah. So Alex gets up to get dressed. Oh, don't worry, it's already frozen. He said, hey, don't worry, it's already frozen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I've had some good times. Like, I've been on some good jobs. Like, yeah, Roger highlighted them. 13 years I spent there, man. It was with some good crews, guys that you know what I mean? Friends to the end, or like just guys that you meet there like you. Like me and Brent have been buddies for a long time.
Years. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just we're the same people, but it's not like you go he met a bunch of guys that worked with me at Major, I guess, at Rodron this year, and they all just liked me.
There was one out of the 10 that liked him. And the one out of the 10 is the most get shit done hard worker out of the whole group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it says it all, right? Pure grit.
I thought you were gonna say he owed Alex money, so he's just like, yeah, no, I like the guy.
don't tell me talk to me.
No, it's just funny though, right? Like it's I think it's hilarious.
Well, I worked with you for years. I know how you operate, Alex. You're
it's
an
like
old
you
school
just
guy.
giver, and people don't like that. Like
you get shit done. They'd rather see you sit and fill out, you know what I mean, 20 papers that are unnecessary to do a fucking job, right?
Even
you know what I mean?
Just stand by.
Yeah, stand by,
man.
Just getting it done and getting out of there, right?
That's something I prided myself in, not having standby. Yeah, but
yeah.
No, it's got some good runs. I'm excited for the next one here. It's going to be good. Chase some money.
I think that everyone says like, oh, the newer generation's softer and stuff, and they said that about our generation, and it just it keeps going on and going on. But we talked about it one episode. Like, I just think maybe it's a little easier to get into diamond drilling now because there's just ads up, and you just send an email or make a phone call. But back in the day, you kind of had to know someone or at least know who to call to get a job. So it kind of, if you're a hard worker, you'll pick the phone up and try a few different numbers. That's kind of step one. So you'd weed some really shitty guys out. I think now we're just seeing more crappy people get into the industry because it's a lot easier. But there's still a lot of like actual hardworking, like really, really good guys. And I think it's like I try to remind myself of that as well, because like you go through a lot of guys, right? You read the resume and you try to do what you can. And some guys actually work out and they just don't like being away, or they don't like the job and they leave. But it's really good to remind yourself, like, hey, not everybody's shitty. There's still a lot of good, hardworking laborers out there. And probably a lot of them are the ones watching the show because they're so into drilling, right? They actually give a shit after shift. But for a while there, I just thought like, oh my God, there's no hope. Like, we're going to have to get robots to do everything now.
No, and that's the thing. There is tons, like I've met in the last 4 years, even just tons of awesome dudes that are good drillers and good foremans, good guys to work with that you want to work with, but they're working. They're not looking for work. You know what I mean? It's very odd to find a guy like that looking for work. Or if you are, like, I mean, I didn't have to look very hard. It just kind of an opportunity came up and I jumped on it, right? But it's like, it's either if you're looking for work and you got to look pretty hard, then you got to take a second look at what's going on.
Maybe try construction.
Yeah.
I mean, in 40 years, they'll probably these young guys will probably be like, oh, back in the day, remember when we had to pull 20s in the tower with the manipulator, right? Something fucking completely stupid.
But they'll say, back in the day, I listened to a podcast while I was drilling. Well, yeah, back in our day, I had to wait a week for the fucking 10-minute phone call there talking about that's I remember standing in the line there waiting for your phone time. Like, now it's like, oh, yeah, I watch a Greasy driller there at lunch. Or
with Starlink at the drill. What's a two-way radio, for fuck's sakes?
Yeah. That same guy on Friday nights, like, fucking old lady's not answering. Where is she?
Oh.
Just thinking at the drill all night, eh?
That's one thing I've told my wife. Like, I'm just so happy that I'm not like that. That's not my work life anymore. And I couldn't, at the time that I was young and dumb like that, it's like I couldn't imagine it being any different. And it's just like, wow, works so much better when you don't gotta fucking go to sleep worrying and wake up worrying. And it's just, why the guy waste so many time and money on that shit? Then you see these young guys doing it, and it's like, hey, bud, she's with you.
I would have quit drilling. Like, I bet like 20 times I would have quit drilling if there was Starlinks at the drills when I was 18 to like 25 at least. I'd be like, why is the love of my life not answering me on Saturday night? I'm pretty sure when I was saying that I'd be a driller and then I fucked off to Edmonton, I'm going to be a scaffolder. I think it was like Brian Forseer. He found out beforehand, and when we came back from the job, he's telling everyone like, oh, that's what's going on. In 2 weeks, I'll call you and whatever. Then he gets to me and he's like, and you, I guess you're not coming back, are you? And I'm like, no, I'm going to be a scaffolder. And he's like, well, if once you want to come back, just give me a call and we'll get you going. So he fucking knew better. I thought I was getting married and everything, but he knew.
Oh yeah. Just call me, Kay. Call me when you're ready, then.
Take a break. Take a break. See you in a few months. Fuck.
Yeah. I can do so much better.
Yeah. I guess throughout those years, we were talking about the gear jammers, but even now, Just like drilling rig wise, what's your favorite or your preference if you're going to a job?
I gotta go to EF, man.
Yeah, that's all them Rodron years, eh?
I spent so much time on them. I've never really drilled on anything else. Like I did dirt lights a little bit this year. Or not even, those are VDs this year. I drilled for a month VDs, and then dirt lights here shift. I'll pick up some shifts if the driller's sick or something once in a while. But it's I don't know, those EFs, man. I know how to fix them. I know how to run them, and to me, they're just it's cat's ass. But I don't know. I haven't seen one in years, right? I mean, we drilled some meters on those things, though.
I'd say, even for you, going back behind the sticks, I was telling someone the other day, like we have a lot of A5s and a couple U5s and stuff like that, but we have an EF as well. But it's kind of like newer to our company. Obviously, like guys like Brent can come over. I ran them lots. A few other guys. We're really well versed in that kind of thing. But the nice thing about, I would say, a drill like and there's a lot of nice drills. It's just I'm going by what I've ran. Yeah. Like we have James on here talking about the Tactex drill. There's going to be guys that only kind of ran them drills in a few years, and that's what they fucking like. But the A5, I order a lot of parts and stuff for it. Constantly always looking for like different info on it. But that drill, they designed it came out, and it's basically been the exact same forever. And the EF to me is kind of the same thing. Like, sure, you can get a variation on the head, or you can change a foot clamp and stuff like that, maybe where the wire line is, but like all in all, the drill's pretty much the same. So like whatever you knew before, Alex, you're going to walk in and you just, you know it, right? Like my complaint, and I was talking to Kevin, like who owns the company now, and I was telling him, because I bought one of those desks at home where I normally do the podcast, where it goes up and down like the little button. And I was like, man, you got to put them controls so I can stand up in that EF. Like that was my only complaint about that drill. And he kind of laughed, but it's not a bad idea, because honestly, I sat down there. I was having back issues, and sitting down in that drill was really, really aggravating it. So I did kind of wish you could bring the controls up and stand there. But he's probably thinking like, wow, that's Shawn's only complaint. Like, I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
The drill.
It's a tight little corner, but it's true though. But you say back pain, that's funny. I sat in that drill for a month, and my shoulder, she locked up on me there just from staring up at the shafts. Like, it's funny. We're getting old, man.
Man, we're going to get beat to death. There's probably like guys who are like 60 years old listening to you say that, and they're like, oh my God.
Oh yes. No, I don't know. I ran a Discovery 2s when I worked in the Yukon. I like those drills.
They're good drills, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. But I mean, it's just, I spent so much time on the EFs, like the EF20. We made a fly drill. We made a Nodwell drill. Like those things were just, I just love those drills. So I'd like to work.
They stay pretty consistent too, with like going a bigger model and then a smaller model. Like from what I understand anyway, a lot of maybe the parts aren't interchangeable as much, but the theory behind the drill seems to be the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Like the 20, like fifth, just a 4-cylinder motor, I think, isn't it? Like that's all it is. Basically, pumps are probably, I think, the same, and
there's not much difference. So
no, fly drill tower comes apart or whatever, but
yeah. It'd be it'd be cool to get Kevin or whoever on here to just talk about that. I really like the episode with James, just going over the drill, hearing like not just the sales pitch of what it does, but like why it does these things. And it was all born from like just things people they're annoyed with something as they run a drill. Like, when I make a drill, I'm going to change that. I really thought that episode was cool. It'd be great to bring on more manufacturers like that and just hear why they're doing it, and then hear from guys like you, Alex, like what do you really like about that drill? Like you've definitely ran them more than me. But most of my time with Rodrin was between the 37s and then working on those. And I just really like those drills. And I'm glad they've stuck around, because then an old man like myself is still relevant because I know something about that.
Exactly. No, I'd like to go run one. Yeah. It's, the whole thing, the whole design, like, I mean, it's, you think about it when you're drilling on it, changing head, that the head's stupid sitting in the tower, how it does and stuff, but it all makes sense at the end of the day, like compared to some of these other drills I've seen. There's a couple I'm not, biggest fan of newer style drills, but it's just, they're hard to work on and stuff. You can't access stuff that you're pulling a 435 bean pump across the floor to get it outside the shack. You know what I mean? Like those things, I can open up any panel on the side. It's fucking in and out. Yeah, it was home for a long time. Yeah.
I was I haven't seen it myself, but I know, the hydrocore drill head has been like a really big thing in the industry the last while. We have a few of them, and like just great things. Just a lot easier to repair, less parts, not, you don't need specialized tools to repair the thing. So I know a lot of companies are requesting to like put them on EFs and
we got them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was funny when I was in Kamloops, I think, at the KEG conference just a little while ago, go take a leak in the bathroom, and there's like Hydrocore was sponsoring the thing, but they had a little sign, like signs all over, and it said Hydrocore, the best head in the industry.
Oh yeah,
the bathroom? Best head in the world, I think. It just showed like the world with that fucking drill head.
That's awesome.
But it was so funny. Everybody was talking about it, but it was those things are obviously doing really well. We've had nothing but luck with them, but it's cool to see those variations on those old proven drills, because then you're getting the best of the best. It's like a drill that's really good, and then maybe the head leaves something to desire, so they get rid of it and put someone else's thing on. That's neat.
Yeah, they're definitely better than 12HH and probably a B20 too. I mean, I haven't blew it up yet. I mean, the only thing you could wreck on them is a belt, basically.
Yeah, it's that simplicity.
You just say it pays itself. It's $80,000, but it pays itself off. Like you're rebuilding a 12HH, especially when a guy's breaking out in fourth gear or whatever, and knock him in the grease. I mean, it could go blow up pretty quick within a week. You could rebuild one and it's done in 2 days, 4 hours. Never mind. Like,
yeah,
right.
I've seen a lot of heads in the last few years. Yeah.
You see that chuck leaking some oil, and you're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
What kind is it?
Yeah.
Kind of oil. How long do you think you can get out of her?
Yeah.
Yeah. How quick is the drip that's coming out of there?
And you start hearing some weird noise. Yeah. And she locks up. Yeah.
But is it sparking yet?
Yeah. Hey, you put a tube of grease in. Put a tube of grease in it, you half tube, and you open it, and it just splatters on the wall. Yeah.
What about we haven't touched a whole lot on this podcast at all about like drilling bits, like even casing shoes and drilling bits, like downhole stuff like that. But like personally, like myself, I was never really a big bit guy. I didn't have like too many of my favorites. A lot of times you just get stuck with what the foreman buys, and by the time you're foreman, then you don't really even, not that you don't care, but you're not running it. You're just looking for longevity of these bits at that point and hoping the bit tags come in. But yeah, I don't know. Is there any like over the years, like one that you've used where you're just like why do they even make this thing, and then and then one that you really like, or something that's been consistent, I guess, through the years?
Well, the new 11 AC we were getting, like last time I drilled, they seem different, but like all we could get was the Hero 7s. You'd be lucky to get a turbo, and it was like drill. If you can't figure it out, then you're gonna drill with polish bit, and that was a huge lesson, though, honestly, because guys nowadays, a lot of guys don't like to use them because they'll polish them and they'll be hooped, right? Like,
go on around them, yeah.
That's all we got. I don't know why, but they got a box sale on them and bought a bunch, I guess. But it's all we had for a long time. Just Hero 7s. And now they like 911 guys last for now and stuff, but I never really used any of the rock stars. I never really used any of those myself.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a choice. I don't know why. We just never did.
Yeah. I think a lot of everything comes down to the mighty dollar too.
Yeah.
And then some, I'm obviously at my printing shop. The thing that I'm looking to buy next is like a big wide format, printer to do decals and stickers and whatever, like to do a car wrap. And then I could do a hard hat sticker, everything in between. So I thought about that and I'm like, these bits that people don't really like, I'm like, I could just print a kick-ass sticker and just put it on this bit and guy's gonna be like, whoa, like that's the Greasy Driller 7. That thing is the fucking best.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them don't come. I noticed some of these bits I was grabbing off the shelf, like there's nothing on them. You don't know. You gotta look at the serial numbers and shit to find out who even makes it. You know what I mean? So that'd be awesome. Start slapping stickers on them. Yeah.
Order some off Temu there.
I was just gonna say that. I'm just bored one day and I'm like, I don't remember what site I was on, but I'm like, I wonder if I could buy bits in bulk. So you know how like the foreman, they bring out the milk crate of the old bits and they're like, fucking run them off. I'm not giving you a new one till they're gone. And a couple of them are really good. And I'm like, that has to translate over to like Temu or something like that, or Alibaba, where I get a shipping container of them.
Yeah.
And I just start selling them. I'm like, yeah, it's $200 each. Drill companies be like, oh, fuck, I gotta try it. It's cheap enough. And you never know, some might work out. And next thing, we don't even do the podcast. We just sell bits. Yeah. You want a turbo? We're at home with the chisel, like trying to make
make a turbo, 1,000-meter bets.
Yeah.
Give you the Kimberlite special. We're knocking the teeth out.
From the factory.
Yeah.
What about you, Brent, over your years? Or I guess just what's been your favorite bet?
It's 7. Hero 7's my bet. Yeah.
Hero 7, yeah.
I named my kid even for it, yeah.
They should be sending some free stuff over.
They did. They actually did. They
really?
got him a onesie that said 40 a baby, and Brent brought he gave me a bunch of hoodies and everything.
Really? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Hero 7.
I was talking to Brent in Vancouver, and he was I think he kind of wanted to be on the show as well, which I'd love to get someone off their team and onto it. That's cool. I didn't know that. I'd like to see the onesie. My girlfriend's throwing out onesies right now from our kid, and I'm just like, keep those things.
I'll send you a picture, Shawn.
Yeah, cool. For sure. I guess on that topic too, you could probably talk about the clothing that we're selling too. We're not really making an ad, but it's funny. That's how me and Brent kind of got talking on another level other than work, was like the clothing, because I didn't know he was selling the Greasy Driller stuff, didn't know anything about the brand. But one of our guys the other day, I had a Greasy Driller hat I embroidered, and I was like, hey, you want a hat? Fired it up on the balcony to him, and then the helper's like, I got one of them hoodies.
Dilly.
He runs downstairs and he's like, look it.
He messaged me. He said, he messaged me. He's like, yeah, Shawn's handing Greasy Driller stuff. I said, well, he's my partner in it. You didn't know, Dilly. Yeah.
So we're, we kind of have something on the website about like selling hoodies like this and selling some hats and whatnot. I think we'll get a little more in order on that kind of stuff. But even the shirt Alex got on, I always kind of like that one too. But
I was supposed to send you a couple there.
We'll go on that website right there, the old greasydriller.com, and we'll hopefully set up a store on there. I think it's kind of the way to go. But we were talking about maybe we'll start doing the baby onesies there too. Greasy Driller kid. But I thought that video was funny. I sent you today, Brent. I had to go into the court office for getting a truck out, and I was ready to walk in there because I was told don't wear a hat into court. I've never been there before, so that was true. The toothpick, it's like toothpick's gone. You got to take the hat off.
Well, that's why you never had a hat on.
Yeah. So you got to say like, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, whoever the judge is. But I'm walking up the steps and I look down and I'm like, shirt says
Shit.
Greasy Driller on it. I'm
Shit.
like, no, I can't do that.
Turn it inside out.
Yeah, might as well just be a no-show, really. So, you know,
Who's this guy?
yeah, yeah. If you buy the clothes, like, just be careful where you wear them, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, is there anything else, Alex, you really want to get into? Or we've had a lot of topics about like us being the old guys. If you had to share some wisdom to the new guys hiring on, or that new helper who's sitting at work right now, like you were saying, the good guys, they're getting work right now. They're usually not sitting at home. If you have to put some faith into, or try to give some faith to the guy who's sitting at home, what would you say?
Yeah, just push on, man. Don't come home for a woman, and don't buy a truck, buy a house.
That's what you got, partner.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's
fucking 22 years into this, and that's all you got.
Like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been drilled. I've done a lot of jobs, and I just see guys quitting all the time.
As a foreman, what do you want to? What do you like to see as a foreman?
God, someone who's honest, just does their job, right?
Yeah,
isn't gonna lie.
Yeah,
always find out, but it's like guys that don't. Everyone always finds, it seems like in my last couple of years' experience, there's always an excuse. Always an excuse why to go home, or you know what I mean? Why a guy can't do a full tour, or why this happened, or it's always a cross shift. That's my biggest thing. Honesty. Yeah. I don't care if you're good or bad. Just be honest. If you're shitty, I'll help you out much as I can. But there's always something to learn, right? I'm learning every day too as I go out there. Different drillers, different helpers. Everyone's got a different way to do shit. But But big thing, man. You got to watch them women and how you spend that money.
Yeah. It sounds like you're selling condoms or something.
Well, I just see I don't know if it's just the companies I've been with, but you see it more and more, man. It's crazy. Guys, like I see shit happening that I was doing when I was young, and it's like I wish someone was there to slap me straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you wouldn't listen though.
Smart enough kid.
Here you are.
Yeah, here I am. Exactly. We just keep pushing on. I come from nothing, right? And
absolutely.
Meanwhile, you look in his driveway. He's got a brand new 2025 truck.
He does. Brand new.
That's the thing. Don't do what I've done. Even my kid, it's like he's talking about drilling, but it's like, yes, you're gonna do it different though.
You know, it's pretty good advice. I bought a that was the first thing I really bought after working on the drills. And this is, I'm living at home. I didn't realize like rent and all that stuff costs so much, but I bought an SUV, a brand new one. Saw a commercial for it. I'm like, fuck, I like that thing. Told my buddy, I'm going to buy it. And it was like 2 days later, I went down to Dodge and I just bought the fucking thing. But I bought it cash with my debit card. And I'm like 20 years old. And back then it was still like 37,000 or something. And it's just like, boom, paid for it. And now I thought that was a responsible thing to do though. Like I've paid it right off. Now I know if I lose my job, I still have the vehicle. I went home. My stepdad just kind of reamed me out for it. He's like, what the fuck? Like you built no credit for yourself. And I didn't know because I had a lot of money and I was living at home. Like, so whoever's at home thinking this, like listen to Alex right now. He's like, don't do it. Just get the used truck. No one's going to fuck you because your truck's 3 years newer.
Buy a house, man. That's
or buy a printing.
How many houses paid off in the last 20 years here? Two for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
or buy a printing company,
Buy a printing company.
Or better yet, invest in one that's already going, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you can
But
get
it
hold of
just
me.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Waste your money on zins in a new truck. It ain't gonna get you far.
Yeah. But that's kind of all I got, unless you guys want to get into some other
I'm good.
topic. We've really
Thanks a
torn the
lot.
new generation apart and patted the old one
I
on the
know.
back.
I know we're
We pissed
gonna get
people off.
jumped. Gonna get a lick in here by a bunch of young guys.
There's a lot we could talk about, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
remembering it all.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I guess we could probably shut things down. We can have a little chat after. We'll play the outro here, but just wanted to thank you, Alex, for coming on. It was really good to catch up with you. It's been so long. And then also just say that we're going to try to be a little more consistent throwing the episodes up here as well. So me and Brent will kind of get on that a little better. But yeah, if you I'll throw the banner up one more time here, but if you're interested in being on the show, or you know of someone we should reach out to, send an email to us and we'll get at them. There's no fee to be on the show, no nothing. We just want to sit and have a little bullshit. So yeah. And also thanks to Ranger Mining for sponsoring the show. It's greatly appreciated, and make sure you check them out too.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting so rusty here. I don't even have the thing queued up.
On.
Yeah. Well, we recorded, so that's good. But okay. Take care, guys.
Okay.
I'm a diamond drilling roughneck working nowhere near